and welcome back to The World is Storytelling with me, Ronnie, and this time with the amazing comedian, market gardener, and mother that is Kat. Now, Kat performs so many different places over Ireland. You should definitely follow her on Instagram and catch up with her gigs in different places. They are amazing. 100% recommended. And before we get on to Kat's stories, I want to share a joke. But it feels a bit difficult to share a joke before an interview with a comedian. I feel like I've got a bit of stage fright on this. I feel like whatever happens, I should share a farm-based joke. So, do you know why the pony was taking some cough syrup? Because he was a little horse. Oh dear. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
So tell a story, one that is true. Yeah.
So your dad, Ardal O'Hanlon, right? He was famous in Irish comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you learn much from him?
Well, my O'Hanlon is married through marriage. So he's actually...
Oh, he's your father-in-law?
Yeah, he's
I
my
see,
father-in-law.
I see. Your husband find it easy following in his famous father's footsteps?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's obviously given us a leg up. Like, look at how far we've made it.
That's here we are again outside. We did record a wonderful podcast.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
The best ever. And now we just have to do it again, and it'll never be as good. Isn't that how, like, the Mormon Bible was written? Didn't it, like, all get burnt or something? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it again, but
It's not
it's not going to be as good the first. I don't know. I got that information from South Park.
Do you know what my favorite Mormon jam is?
No. What is it?
Elderberry jam. Hey! Last night we did drive. We drove. We drove. Did we drive? Well, I relaxed in the passenger seat as you drove home from a gig. Where you performed,
yes,
among some other fabulous comedians, and I was in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I was most of the audience.
Yes,
actually.
yeah.
One of the comedians was talking about how he's 10% Danish pastries.
Yes,
which I can empathize with.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm at least
that's a good
10%,
one. Yeah,
if not 20. Yeah. So, welcome back to The World is Storytelling, listeners. Welcome to The World is Storytelling, Kat.
Thank you.
You are a wonderful comedian, market gardener, mother.
About that.
Yeah, and you've got great jokes.
Looking at my life in comedy and how it's weaved its way through my stories, it's just been there. My family has a really good sense of humor. I was a very anxious child, and I had to have therapy, and I remember doing these guided meditations with my mom, and we would usually end up laughing quite heartily, and the actual meditations never really helped me, but the laughter did. And then I went to Buffalo to go to college, and just had a series of kind of one failure after another, and I was kind of depressed at the time, and I made a list of 3 things I wanted to do, because the nice thing about failure is it kind of frees you up to do exactly what you want to do. I wanted to travel to Ireland.
Okay.
I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and I wanted to work on an organic farm of some sort.
Okay.
And so I think the easiest one at that time was to just do stand-up comedy, because there was a pub or a bar down the street from me that had a sign up, and I did it. I mean, it was like the most amazing feeling to get up there. I felt like I found my people. I'm pretty sure I bombed for like 6 months. You could not give me any amount of money in the world to go back and watch it again. I came to Ireland to do the woofing program. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've woofed.
Okay, yeah. So I came to Ireland to woof.
I've also meowed.
Okay. Me too.
Okay.
And at the weekends, I would do stand-up. But there just so happened when I went to Galway to be a comedy show, and I was able to get on, and that's where I met my husband. He walked in the room, and I remember thinking, like, that guy's a comedian. And I was just thinking, because he looked like he was in a bad mood and really didn't want to be there. Which, if you know, Danny is like extra funny because he hates when people are like paying attention to how he looks. And so I remember just looking and thinking, like, okay, that guy's a comedian, and my job tonight is to make him laugh. And then I did. and he asked if he could buy me a drink, which is very not Danny, and then the rest is history. And I usually start my set by saying, "Hi, I'm Kat. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and now I live in rural Ireland. Rural Ireland, where smells go to get wet." Still my favorite thing I've ever written. I'll never write anything as good as that again. This is like an idea for a new bit that I have about like how to tell how rural you are. Literally like 2 days ago, I was sitting waiting for my husband, and all of a sudden I hear my car door open, like back passenger seat, and there's like an older man opening the door, and he kind of has this voice that's a little terrifying where he says, "Hello, children," because I had 2 kids in the back seat. "Hello, children, would you like some candy?" And then he gave them candy, but it wasn't sealed bags of candy like Haribo's or Buttons. It was just loose candy in a bag of his choosing. And I just think, I realized like that whole situation to me is like the most rural thing I've experienced since moving out here.
You and your husband are partner, boyfriend?
Husband, yeah.
Husband. Man friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are both comedians.
Yes.
I mean, would you say that you have a funny relationship?
Yeah, I think so. Like, humor is a big part of our relationship. A lot of what we do is kind of laughing. He's not doing stand-up at the moment, but like I run everything I write by him. When my husband and I were living in Michigan, I was working on a farm. And we took a
You were growing jokes.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
I wish. We went up to the Sleeping Bear Dunes. So they're these huge, huge dunes. And we were climbing them, and it's not easy, you know, because it's sand. And I was kind of saying, like, I can't wait to get to the top and, like, see the view. It'll be, like, amazing when we get to the top. And we had my, like, elderly family dog with us. So it was, like, kind of hard going. We were just at the, like, cusp of the top, and we got there, and then it was just more dune. And we were like, well, I mean, like, obviously the view's going to be just, like, even more amazing. And we kept going up, and it just kept being more and more dune. And we had this old dog, and we're like, what are we do? She's gonna die, you know? Like where the hell is the view, you know? And like finally we're like exhausted, and we turn around and sit down, and we look up, and we're like, oh, here's the view. Like, this is what it is. It was such an obnoxious metaphor for life that like this whole time we were looking for the view ahead of us, but if we just turned around and looked at where we'd come from, we would have seen the view. Yeah, so that, I think that's like a way that we approach like these things together and find ourselves laughing at that kind of stuff.
Wow. You said that you're a market gardener as well.
Yeah.
What would you say are the funniest vegetables?
I mean, anything that's like phallic is pretty funny, you know? Or, I know, there's like a certain kind of radish that really looks just like a giant horse penis. I can't remember the name of it because most people don't grow this kind of stuff anymore.
They don't grow horse
I feel like in the beginning when I started in like organic vegetable farming, it was kind of like, oh, what's the weirdest vegetables you can grow? But now it's more like, we need to sell this stuff. Nobody wants giant horse penis radishes, or if they do, there's a very specific market. And
Well, I love fruit puns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're very punny.
I was trying to think of Danny's pun that I had to ask him about it because I think I started to tell you the hay fever one. And I realized the reason I couldn't do it is because I'd already given away the punchline.
Oh, no. What's the punchline?
So the punchline is hay fever. Okay. But the setup is that every summer I just get this like need to go out and cut grass and dry it and store it. I get hay fever. Yeah, but he does it much better than me. But the thing about that joke is I was always amazed people laughed at it. It was like one of his like biggest laughs, and I'd always be like, you have so many better jokes than that one, and this is the one that gets the biggest laugh. So, I mean, obviously the audience is never wrong, but they are sometimes.
You mentioned that you used to be quite anxious. I find it fantastic and quite cool that you've become a comedian.
Yeah.
And not just that, I want to say, I mean, the audience weren't at the show last night, but your set was the bravest one.
Thank you.
You know, whereas everyone else was kind of telling jokes and doing the classic comedy thing, you put on a character which was awkward, which was anxious, and that takes a lot of bravery. I
remember I used to write on my hand all the time, like, don't be nervous, don't do the voice. And then I would get up there and I would forget it, and then I would be hard on myself about it afterwards. And So I think eventually I was just like, all right, just focus on working on your material right now. And that freed me up to kind of let that happen. And eventually I realized, like, this is making my jokes funnier. And now I find it really fun. And then also the nice thing is I find myself now in actual social situations with something that, like, I might feel nervous about is I'll be like, oh, just save that for the character tonight. You know, like.
When back in the day when you were farming, did you ever say, hey, I'm the cat here to do the woofing?
It's always so weird where people think comedy, like, it can't just go anywhere, but people put it anywhere, and it's always terrible. Okay. And they had a setup right next to the toilets, of course. And they didn't have any chairs set up. They just had, like, 2 couches, and the mic didn't work, but everyone still held it. All the comedians were on one couch, and all the audience members were on the other couch. The host, just for the purpose of this story, it's like you need to know that he was in a wheelchair, and then there was a comedian who had been on earlier in the night who had cancer, and he brought me up by saying, not only do we have a comedian in a wheelchair and a comedian with cancer, but we also have a woman. So that's how I went up that night. And then I went up and I did my set. I can't remember how it went. But so we had a friend at the time who was doing comedy. He used to get so angry when there was a bad gig. And so there was a stool and he climbed up on it and sat on it like that famous statue of the thinking man. He was just like in this angry pose. He was like, I'm not going to use this fucking microphone because it's not working. And he just like did a very angry set, but also was like lamenting, and people were using the bathroom while we were performing. And yeah, it was just unreal. Like I still to this day I'm like, I can't even believe we did that gig.
Well, Kat, it's been my toes are cold.
Yeah, I think. But your laptop survived. So.
My laptop has survived. Thank you so much for coming on The World of Storytelling.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you're listening and you're in the Irish comedy circuit, or perhaps soon the international comedy circuit, check out Kat O'Hanlon, not Ardal O'Hanlon's daughter-in-law or daughter.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Okay.
Some say the old ruins in the sand tell us every story will come to an end. But my dear, we can live what we tell. We are storytelling anymore.